What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we got something special. We are going through 15 horror games so scary you might actually think twice before playing them. Some of these are legendary remakes that will hit you with a nostalgic feeling, while others are fresh nightmares you probably never tried before. Either way, if you love horror, you are in for a treat, and maybe a few sleepless nights. So grab your snacks, turn off the lights if you are brave enough. Let's dive into the list. Starting our countdown at number 15, we have Layers of Fear. This is a psychological horror game that immerses you into the mind of a painter descending into madness. The environment constantly shifts, making you question what's real and what's part of his unraveling mind. The story unfolds as you explore the mansion, revealing dark secrets about the painter's past and obsessions. The visuals are surreal and disturbing, and the game uses sound design to create unseen at every turn.
I nest in his emptiness.
It's less about jump scare and more about creeping tension, making it a deeply unsettling experience. Number 14 is Silent Hill F, a terrifying continuation of the classic series. The game captures the airy, foggy atmosphere Silent Hill is known for, combining psychological horror with disturbing imaginations. You explore haunted locations filled with mysteries, encountering nightmarish creatures and unraveling dark storyline. The tension is constant. Unsettling visuals and sounds keep you on edge. It's a game that sticks in your mind long after you stop playing.
Another dead end.
At number 13, Chronos The New Dawn. It's a survival experience featuring massive monsters and dark oppressive environments. Combat is tense and encounters with enemies are intense, keeping your adrenaline high. The horror comes from both the scale of threats and the grim atmosphere. Every corner feels dangerous, and the exploration reveals chilling secrets. It's an action-packed horror game with a constant feeling of dread.
You're born, you grow up, you die.
Number 12 is The Oculist. This is a supernatural mystery game where you investigate strange occurrences in haunted houses.
Struggle between good and evil, light and dark, living and dead.
What I found cool was how it makes you feel like a detective. You're piecing through clues and creepy things happens around you.
What is real and what's not? Can a blind person describe the light?
Object moves, door slams, and sometimes you hear whispers that makes you double check what's real.
Prevent us from really seeing what is there. But when suggestive becomes evident, then what is really there.
It's more about suspense and storytelling than jump scares, and it rarely keep you engaged if you like unraveling a good mystery.
When you have to face evil, fear is not an option. Engraved in my mind are images that would make any man tremble. But I am not just any man. I am the occultist.
The Evil Within 1 and 2. So let's talk about The Evil Within 1 and 2. Honestly, both parts are really good. What makes them stand out are the terrifying monsters and witches that constantly chase you, keeping the whole journey stressful and intense. It's not just your usual zombies here. This game throws in horrific ghosts and supernatural enemies that makes you feel uneasy. The good part is you are not completely helpless. You get different weapons to fight back, which adds a nice balance of action and survival. But the real highlight for me is the atmosphere. The environment and the graphics are so well made, you feel like you are stuck in a nightmare. In a way, I'd say it feels like a scarier, more twisted version of Resident Evil 4. If you are into survival horror, this is definitely a must-try series.
Isaac Clarke.
Alright, coming up next is the Dead Space remake. Let me tell you, this is a survival horror done right. From the very start, you are thrown into a massive spaceship, the USG Ishimura, and it's completely silent, except for the creaks of metal and those distinct airy sounds that makes you think something's watching you. And then suddenly, bam, you're face to face with the Necroms. These creatures are honestly some of the scariest enemies I've ever seen in horror game. They don't just rush at you, they come crawling out of vents, dropping from ceilings or sneaking up from behind when you least expect it. The combat is where Dead Space really shines. It's not just about shooting. You have to strategically cut off the Necrom's limb to actually stop them. And even when you think you've got one down, it will twitch or crawl towards you, which keeps your nerves on the edge the entire time. The sound design is incredible too, like you hear scratching in the walls or something clanging in the distance, and you'll start aiming your weapon in every direction waiting for the attack. Visually, the remake looks stunning but terrifying at the same time. The lighting is so well done, flickering lights, pitch black hallways, shadow moving across walls. It all makes the ship feel alive in the creepiest way possible. And what I love is, even though you are armed with the engineering tools turned weapons, you never actually feel safe. The game keeps you under pressure from the start to finish. If I had to sum it up, I'd say Dead Space is the perfect mix of sci-fi and pure horror. It's a must play if you love intense survival games, and honestly, it feels like Resident Evil in space, but way more gruesome and claustrophobic.
Believe what's happening.
This remake doesn't just bring back a classic, it makes it scarier than ever.
George, I've arrived at the location.
At number 9 we got Phasmophobia, and honestly, this game is one of the best multiplayer horror experience out there. The idea is simple. You and your friends go ghost hunting in different haunted locations like house, schools, or even prisons. But the way it's done makes it so tense. You are armed with tools like EMF readers, spirit boxes, cameras, and UV lights to figure out what kind of ghost you are dealing with. The scariest part is how unpredictable it is. Sometimes the ghost will just flicker the lights or move objects around, and other times it will go into a full haunt and chase you down. And because of the voice recognition feature, the game actually reacts to what you are saying. You might ask, "Are you here?" and suddenly you will hear a creepier whispers right behind you. That's the kind of thing that gets your heart racing. What really makes Phasmophobia so much fun is the teamwork.
Okay,
One person might be braver and go into the basement while the other watches over the van. But then the ghost slams the door shuts up and everyone panics. It's equal parts hilarious and terrifying. Even if you played the same map before, now two hunts feel the same and unpredictability keeps the game fresh. If you are into multiplayer games that can scare the life out of you but also give you funny moments with friends, this one is a must play.
Power very rough against us.
We must rise to face them. There's no enemy among the outsiders
Thou forget us forever.
Give them
Sake of
the night.
The villages are hostile, twisted, and will chase you relentlessly through cornfields, broken houses, and underground tunnels. The thing is, you can't fight back. You don't get weapons. All you can do is run, hide, or pray they don't find you. The helplessness makes every encounter 10 times scarier. You are hiding in closets, under beds, or crouching in tall grass, hearing footsteps getting closer, wondering if, this time, you are caught. The game also has this really unsettling religious theme that makes the story disturbing on a whole different level. The imagery is haunting, and some of the cutscenes honestly sticks with you long after you stop playing. The night vision camera is your lifeline, but running out of batteries in the dark is one of the most stressful feeling ever. Outlast 2 is not for the faint of heart. It's brutal, it's creepy, and keeps your adrenaline going from the start to finish. If you want a horror game that makes you feel completely vulnerable, this is it. Number 7 is The Little Nightmares. Now this game almost looks like a dark fairy tale, but don't let the art style fool you. It's incredibly creepy. You play a tiny character named Six, trying to escape the massive ship filled with oversized enemies. The design of these characters, the janitor with long arms, the chefs chopping meat, or the guests devouring food, the beauty of Little Nightmares is how it makes you feel small and powerless. You're sneaking through vents, crawling under tables, and solving puzzles while these monsters are right above you. It's not just about scares, it's about the atmosphere. The world is dark, twisted, and surreal, like you are stuck inside someone else's nightmare. What I love most is how the game doesn't rely on dialogues to tell its story. Everything is visual. The environment at the encounter slowly reveals what's going on. And by the end, you realize there's so much more to the world than you thought. Little Nightmares is short, but every moment is memorable. It's creepy, atmospheric, and definitely one of the most unique horror games you will ever play. Coming in at number 6, we have Alan Wake 2. This game feels like you are playing through a supernatural thriller movie. You follow Alan Wake, a writer who's been trapped in a dark alternate reality, and Sage Anderson, an FBI agent investigating strange murders. The way the game tells the story is absolute gripping. It mixes horror with mystery, and you are constantly piecing things together like a detective. The environments are stunning but terrifying at the same time. Dark forests, airy lakes, abandoned cabins, all filled with enemies that lurks into the shadows. The flashlight mechanism is genius. You shine it on the enemies to weaken them before finishing them off with weapons. It gives the constantly push and pull of light versus darkness. What I really love about Alan Wake 2 is how unpredictable it is. You will be walking calmly through the woods and suddenly reality will shift. Walls will melt away and you will thrown into another nightmare. The sound design makes it even more immersive. Every branch snapping, every whisper feels way too close. It's less about jump scares and more about tension and atmosphere.
Right.
If you enjoy a game that combines deep storytelling with genuine horror moments, Alan Wake 2 is a must play.
I think Nightingale came up from that direction. From the lake. Probably looking for shelter. Safety. They were waiting for him.
Number 5 is Madison. You are exploring a haunted town and uncovering supernatural events. The game mixes puzzles, exploration, and tense encounter with spirits or dark forces. What I really enjoyed is how it slowly builds suspense. You see hints of horror before it actually hits, which makes each movement scarier. It's one of those games where you constantly second guessing yourself and the story keeps you curious.
The attic.
Number 4 is Visage, which is incredibly intense. You are exploring a seemingly ordinary house, but weird things happen constantly. Door opens by themselves, object moves, and the game subtle messes with your perception. What I like most is the pacing. It's slow and tense. So when something finally happens, it hits hard. Every corner feels dangerous and you are never completely comfortable. Definitely a game that will stick with you. At 3 we have Kamla. It's a horror game with strong narrative focus. The tension comes from the story and environment rather than just monsters. You feel like you are uncovering something really wrong, and the game slowly builds the dreads. The visuals are haunting, and the way the plots unfolds keeps you engaged. I enjoyed how every small discovery added to the suspense. It really makes you think about what's happening.
Initiating nighttime protocols.
And number 2 we have Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. This game changes everything we knew about. Instead of being stuck in a single room, you get to explore a massive mall full of bright lights and terrifying monsters. The scary part is, these robots don't just stand around, they hunt you across different areas. Every step feels unsafe, and the atmosphere switches from fun to colorful to pure nightmare in seconds.
You should be able to escape when the security doors reopen at 6 a.m.
It's intense, it's unpredictable, and keeps you on the edge from the start to finish.
To yourself. If there is another way out, I will help you find it. I promise.
Please make your way to the front of the building, where you will be given novelty glasses, a voucher for 1 free soda refill, and where you will sign a legal disclaimer releasing us of all liability for anything that might have happened during your visit. Have an awesome night, and we'll see you again soon. Would you like to take a short survey about your experience?
And finally we have Observer. It's not your typical horror game. It's set in dark cyberpunk futuristic world where technology and fear go hand in hand. You play as a detective exploring rundown apartments, neon lit streets, and a city that already feel unsettling before anything even happens. What makes Observer so scary is the way it plays with your mind. It's full of strange sounds, glitching visuals, and moments where you can't tell what's real and what isn't. The atmosphere is heavy and claustrophobic, and instead of relying on jump scare, it slowly gets under your skin.
That's what they call me.
It's kind of a horror that makes you feel uneasy entire time. Like something is always watching or something's about to break. For me, the mix of futuristic setting and psychological tension makes Observer one of the most unforgettable horror games ever. That's why it deserves one of the top spot in my list.
Daniel Lazarski. I'm an observer.
And that's it for my top 15 horror games. If you enjoyed this countdown, make sure to drop a like and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out and keep you updated on more gaming content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.
The other.